Okay. We're recording.
Awesome. Okay, so if you want, do what? Huh?
Oh, here, I can mute everybody. I think somebody.
Okay, and I'll just unmute myself.
Where's the baby? Get off of me! I'm trying to get up so I can feed your sister.
I can figure out how to mute everybody. I don't know.
Go to participants at the bottom and click mute all.
Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Still can't hear. I think you're still muted. Let's see.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. So anyway, well, Courtney, if you want, just start, just share your story, and I have a few questions I'll just ask you, and then I guess we can open it up to everybody to ask questions. If anybody has any questions for Courtney, just comment in the chat, and I'm sure she can answer them as we go. But if you just want to start with your story and everything.
Okay, so my name is Courtney Bohr, and I am from a really small town in Missouri called Martinsburg, Missouri. And I joined It Works in April of 2014. So 3 years this month, which is like the craziest thing ever because it's flown by. So weird, it's been 3 years. But so I joined this business. At the time, I was going to school full time and I was working 2 part-time jobs. And I was working at a tanning salon. And in the tanning salon, they had sold It Works products. So I had tried the hair skin nails and I tried some of the wraps. And I really liked the products, but I never ever considered selling it or anything. And then I found my enroller, Ashley Mirth, on Instagram, and I watched her for, I watched her for a few weeks. And I never commented on any of her stuff, but I was super intrigued by how she was making money from the business, especially through social media. I was like, wow, that'd be so cool. She's making money from her cell phone. So I had watched her and I talked myself in and out of it about a million different times. I kept telling my mom about it. I'd be like, Mom, should I do it? And she'd be like, just do it. She's like, you're going to get wraps anyways out of it. We just wanted to use the wraps, but she was like, just go for it. So I was like, all right. So the first day I ever talked to Ashley is the day I signed up. So I joined, had no idea what I was doing, had no idea you could even make money with it. And I jumped in just head first. And I was that person who was like, okay, I'm super, I did not want to post on Facebook. I didn't really want to tell my friends or family about it. I wanted to start completely through social media, which now I obviously tell my team to do the exact opposite. Definitely people, but I was that person who's like, I'm going to do this all through Instagram. So that's what I started with. I started building completely through Instagram, and I had a really slow start because I didn't start with my warm market, and I just started completely cold market. So my first month, I made $29, and I was super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I just made $29. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And at the time, I was living with my parents, and I really wanted to move to Columbia and go to school at the University of Mizzou, but I just couldn't afford to move out. And so I was like, okay, maybe if I can make an extra $200, get a job in Columbia, maybe I'll do that and make it work. So a few months later, I ended up moving to Columbia, and I got another job here. And I started that job, and I hated it. So I messaged Ashley, and I was like, okay, I'm about to do this thing full time. And I was at Emerald at this time. And she was like, okay. And she was super nervous for me, but I quit my job. And ever since then, I just went in full force, and just, it's crazy. It's just flown. I never imagined, being here, that's for sure. Diamond was the coolest promotion in the world for me because that was dream. That was literally goals when I started. I just thought there's no way I could ever be a diamond. But so it's awesome. But anyways, yeah, so it's flown by and I love it. Couldn't imagine doing anything different. So
I love that so much. Yeah, my very first paycheck. Hey, can you mute them again, Courtney?
Yeah, here. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. My very first paycheck was $9.60-something. And it's just so crazy to think about that. And what's really even more crazy is people in my downline are making $50 to $60 their first check. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, why did I make $9? But it's just so crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's just so crazy to think where it started and what it has become. But that's freaking awesome. So how many bonuses have you earned since you've started?
Let's see. Oh my gosh, how much has it been? I think it's 250,000 now.
Okay. I love that so much.
I think it might, somewhere around there.
somewhere around 250,000. That's amazing. Okay, so, And like, I'm sure everyone on here is like, most of them are like somewhat new. I know I have a few people that are just joined. So to them, that's just like, I mean, it's insane to me, but I've also seen other people that I know go ambassador with this company. And it's just so crazy that, how old are you now, Courtney?
22.
Jeez, that's insane. Okay. So how do you build your business? Like, you're mainly on social media, right?
Yeah. So like completely through social media. Never had a party. I do like a lot of virtual parties, but never had like an in-person party or anything. But social media has definitely been my main outlet. So yeah, Instagram. I started with Instagram. I was like I said, I did not want to post on Facebook at all. Like I was so scared to do it. And then once I finally just gave into like Facebook and Snapchat and all of that stuff, that's when my business started to really, really grow. It's when I just like went out of my comfort zone for sure. But I started with Instagram, and I also created a brand new Instagram when I started, which I don't recommend. So I had like a really slow start because I did start with like my cold market, and I didn't want to go out of my comfort zone and reach out to those people. So now with my new team members, or, my team, I'm like telling them to do the total opposite, and they're having, such a quick, such a faster start than I did. But yeah, I was just, social, or Instagram has been like my main one for sure. I love Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to ask you this. So when you started, how many distributors did you have on your team when you first started, when you first signed up?
0. Like when I first signed, yeah.
Yeah, so you had 0, and you paid the $99 for the kit, right?
Right.
Like, okay, so she literally started exactly where everyone else started in this business and had 0 distributors on her team. Like, that is just, it's just so crazy what time and like effort can do. And like, you just put in like the work.
Yeah, you guys, I had found out that like I had to build a team. Like when Ashley told me like I could enroll team members and make money for it, I was like laughing. I was like, nobody is ever gonna join my team. Like no, like I thought she was insane. And yeah, I just never expected anyone to ever join my team. So the first person that ever joined my team, I was like, is this happening right now? Like it was the craziest thing ever. So no, if people join my team, I promise you they'll join all your old teams.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. I think I signed my very first one like 3 months in. It was actually after Green Carpet. I signed my very first distributor, and I was like, well, that, and I was like so freaking excited. Like when I signed that distributor, I thought I was an ambassador. I was like, oh, I'm already there. Like it was just like such a crazy feeling. Like, and I still get excited when I sign a distributor. I'm like, oh my God. Like I get that like butterfly feeling. So this is like the biggest question that I've had from a lot of people on my team, because they are college students and they are struggling with this. How did you balance like doing college and also building your business to the top of the company? Like, how did you balance that out?
Yeah, so honestly, I just like took advantage of like any time I had. Like I was super excited from day one with this business. Like I just knew like I wanted to make it work. So there hasn't been a day I haven't worked my business since I started. So really it's came to like, how am I going to fit school into working my business? Because I'm much rather work my business any day. But really it's just taking advantage of the extra time that you had. I was working 2 part-time jobs, going to school full-time. So I definitely had a lot on my plate, but any free time I had, I was making sure that I was, posting on social media. I was talking to new people. I was, building those relationships outside of social media too. Like, I think like, so many people love to use the excuse that I'm so busy, I'm always like to be all these different places. I love busy people because they're already so good at already having to incorporate all these crazy things into your lifestyle. So really it was just taking advantage of my time and, really making this a priority. Like, I mean, there's definitely been things I've had to sacrifice to get to where I have, but it's been so worth it. I mean, like, so like this year is like, or this time of the year, spring break, I can't talk, spring break. So like last year I went ambassador in March, and like all my roommates, I lived with 3 other girls, they were all going on trips and stuff. And I stayed at home by myself to promote to ambassador, because I was like, okay, I can either go and like enjoy this time with them, or I can sit here and get $150,000 bonus, go ambassador, and then take a trip wherever I want to. So, I've definitely had to make sacrifices, but it's worth it. So you just have to decide, when you wake up every single day, if you're going to make this a priority to fit this into your day. I had 2 10-minute breaks at work. So on those 10-minute breaks, I was sitting there messaging as many people as I could. I was following people. I was creating relationships. I was just doing anything I could in that spare time to make sure I was fitting this business into my day. I would stay up later. I would wake up earlier just so I could do what I needed to do to work this business. And I feel like there's so many different ways too to set yourself up. Like if you know you're going to be super busy one day, set your post the day before, just get organized with it to where you can still fit it in your day. So definitely just taking advantage of any extra time I had and making it a priority, because I feel like anything that's important, we make sure to fit into our day. You're not going to not feed your kids because you're too busy for it. You're going to make sure to feed your kids somehow, so do that with your business. And once you do that, it's just going to become a routine, and it's just going to be something you just feel like you're going to wake up and just know you do every single day.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Yeah, because seriously, it's become such a, it's like brushing my teeth. It's actually more important than brushing my teeth some days. Seriously, I'm like, I have to post, I have to message. Sometimes I don't even shower. I'm just like, this is more important. It's just, but you have to just figure out how to make, I love that so much, because once you do that, that's seriously when you start seeing growth and oh my gosh, I love that so much.
I feel like when you first start the business, it is kind of overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to do all these things. But once you find a routine that really works well for you, it's just going to become a part of your day. You're just not going to feel like your day is complete unless you work this business. And so it's really just finding a routine for you that works well, because we all have different crazy busy lifestyles. So it's really just figuring out what's going to work best for you. What works best for me might not work best for you. So definitely taking advantage of that. Something that saved me is power hours. If it's, 1 power hour a day, 2 power hours, I'll do nothing. I do it with when I'm working my schoolwork too. I'll put my phone away and do nothing but my schoolwork for that hour. And then I'll do the same with my business, do nothing but work my business for that hour. It doesn't even have to be an hour, 30 minutes, just making sure that you're putting some time just to commit to that, and you just, I don't know, that really helps me. It's just to stay focused on what I'm doing for just a certain amount of time. And that's especially with school, how it's really helped me, because if I if I have my phone on me and I'm trying to do schoolwork, I can't focus at all. So I just have to put everything away, focus on that for a certain amount of time. And in that time, if you're just focused on that, it's crazy what you can accomplish too, whenever you're not sidetracked by, a million different things. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. So when you sign up a new distributor, what are some of your biggest tips on getting them started? How much do you talk to a new distributor? What are your, first steps on getting them going and getting them up and running?
Yeah. So my thing is when I started, I think the most important things were I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to post. I didn't know what messages I should be sending. I didn't know how to talk to people. So those are really what I'm focusing on when I'm getting new distributors. And I just let them know I'm going to run with my runners. I'm going to walk with my walkers. So deciding on where you want to take this business is how I'm going to help you. The first 90 days that I have a new distributor, I'm constantly just talking to them, but really it's them. I always tell them I want you to blow my phone up. I'm not going to sit here and drag you along in this business, because I have a million other things I could be doing, a million other people that are ready to work to take this. So if you want this to work, you need to be constantly messaging me and constantly, reaching out and making sure that you're putting it in. So really, I just kind of let them know that from the get-go. But I always have them watch. Jade Hooper has a getting started video. That's the first thing I always have them do. I have a welcome email. In the welcome email, it just explains how to log into your eSuite. It talks about, we have it has the steps to success. What else does it have? It has a dream board that they can print off and stuff like that. And then I have them watch that Jade Hooper getting started video, send them some posts to start with, talk about, different wording and stuff like that. And then from there, whenever they're talking to any potentials, I'm having them just screenshot me their conversations. Because that was something for me. I was I don't know what to say. And so I just always have them screenshot me their conversation so I can help them until they're comfortable with doing it for themselves. But really just setting them up with those first posts and letting them know, I remember if you go back and look at my posts when I first started, I was okay, I'm selling something, so I need to sound like a salesperson. So I was okay, I'm selling these 4 wraps for, whatever, how it is all the time. So really just letting them know how important it is to be personal and setting them up, for success, basically right off the bat is what I do. But I also don't throw a ton of information at them at first, because I feel you're just going to learn as you go. So as long as you can log in your eSuite, you can, I'm going to help you with those first posts getting started. And then I just work closely with them, making sure they're reaching out to me every couple days. And if they're not, I definitely reach out to them a couple times. But yeah, I keep it as simple as possible for my new distributors. Oh, and something else I always do, I always get them on a FaceTime. As soon as they sign up, I'm okay, when can you get on a FaceTime? I think it's so important just because that's the time you really get to build a relationship and get to know them, and once you get to build that relationship and you get to know them more, they're more comfortable with you. They're more comfortable with coming and asking questions, and you can find out really where they want to take the business and why they joined in the first place. So if they ever try to talk themselves out of it, you can be like, okay, well, I remember, you know, when you told me you joined this business for this reason, what happened to that? Like, is that not important enough to you? So getting them on a FaceTime. And then also I don't even give them the option. I say, okay, when can we get your launch party set up? I do a virtual launch party on Facebook. I just ask them when a date's going to work for them, and then we get one set up immediately. So those are two things that I do immediately as well.
Awesome. So have you had people quit on you before?
Oh my gosh, all the time. Still. Yes.
I feel like that is it's a huge thing, especially for someone new who has a very small team. Because it was for me when I had like 5 distributors and I had 3 quit. I was like, oh my God, my whole team just quit on me. But like now when like 3 people quit, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to find 4 more people. 3 people quit, I'm going to find 4 more. So, and that's huge for new people. And I think they get so like caught up in that where they're like, oh yeah. And I mean, I think it's normal. I feel like everyone who starts, you know, with a small team, they lose one person. They feel like they just lost a leg, like they lost an arm, like
right.
Everything's gone for them.
Yeah, no, I remember being in like tears. I remember when I was going diamonds and I felt like my whole team was like falling apart. Like I was like, this person quit and this person quit, and I'm investing all this time in them. But you just have to know that you're going to find somebody who wants this just like you do. And it's so worth watching that one person's life speed change than by the people who are quitting on you. But yeah, that's something I've really had to learn along the way too, is don't waste time on people who don't want this for themselves. You know, you can listen to somebody and they can tell you how much they want this business, but you can't want it for them. Like they have to want it for themselves. So don't keep stringing people along, you know, that are just constantly just trying to talk themselves out of it, because they have to want it for it to work for them. But yeah, it is. So like I give myself like 5 minutes to get over it. And then I was like, okay, on to the next, go find another rock star. So yeah, part of it.
Yeah. And that's what I've had to do, is just kind of and I feel like your mindset, do you do personal development?
Oh gosh, yes.
Are you a reader?
Yeah, I love like audiobooks too. Like when I'm getting ready, or like if I'm ever in my car, I love audiobooks. But I do have a couple books that I read as well.
Okay. So did you read the Step book? You read that book?
I still have it.
Okay, awesome.
I've read it, so.
Yeah, I've read part of it, and I like I'm like so bad about reading. Like I'm so bad. Like I'll start a book, and then 6 months later, I'll be like, oh wait, I was reading a book. Like I'm just like, shoot. Yeah.
I've had this book it's been a few months now, and I'm like, it's like good what I've read, but I just like, I'm not very good at focusing on something for very long. So audiobooks are like perfect for me, like when I'm like getting ready, or like when I can actually just listen and not read. But
I'm the same way, and I guess I need to look into audiobooks, because I will be like, I mean, I'm on chapter 3, I think, and I'm just like, I want to read. It's in my car. I carry it with me everywhere I go, but for some reason I'm just like, I'll read it later. Like I just can't, I don't know. But I think personal development in some way is huge. When I first started, actually you were somebody that I watched on YouTube a lot, because I was building social media. So I related to you a lot. And I tell people that I'm like, find somebody in this business that you're going to relate to. If you're an in-person person, find somebody who throws parties. You know, if you're on social media, go, you know, look at Courtney, go look at Jade Hooper, Jocelyn. Like I tell these people to go watch YouTube videos, because that's what I learned from. Yeah. And like just listening to them talk and share tips, that was almost my personal development in the beginning, because I was learning and growing my mind with the company. And I still do. I mean, I still learn things like every single day. I'm like, oh, well, that's just crazy. But I definitely think your mindset is huge in this business, because if it's not right, you're not going to see growth, like at all.
So easy to get like your mindset not in a good place too in this. So, I mean, because we literally have complete control over our business. You know, if you don't want to work it, you don't have to. It's so much easier to quit, but is it worth it for you? Like, you know, you're going to see results whenever you keep pushing on. But yeah, it is. And I mean, you know, Ambassador Diamond, my head, like my mindset will be all over the place. And like, I have to spend that extra time, you know, really just getting my mind in the right place. You know, if there's a day where you feel you're just so off, I feel like it's okay to take a day and get your mind right. You know, go do some self-development, talk to God, like whatever you need to do, get your mind right. And the next day, you know, start new, start fresh. But absolutely, I think self-development is huge. And even just like getting like on Zooms and stuff, like when your teams have Zoom, get on those. Every single time I get on one, I get pumped up and I get excited. Getting to events, huge, because it's just so awesome, like listening to other people who are going through the same thing. Because I can promise you, if you're ever feeling down, you're not the only person doing it too. So yeah, absolutely. Events, self-development, Zooms, yeah, so important, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So Are you like, how do you keep up with your loyal customers? Like, are you pretty organized with loyal customers?
Yeah, so I actually have a like calendar. Like as soon as I sign somebody up, I am putting them on my calendar for those next 3 months. So I have them like have the day they signed up, and then I go through the next 2 months and I write them on my calendar that I have, and then I also write down the product that they're using. So I constantly have like my follow-up calendar and my customer calendar with me just to keep track. So I'm like reaching out to them. And I just, every month, like I just reach out a few days before their order is going to ship through. And I just make sure, they're liking their product, how it's going, if they're telling me they don't like it, what I could, recommend else. But yeah, definitely reaching out with my customers. And something I love doing too, that's really helped me like carry my customers over after the 3 months, is I always reach out to them and I always let them know that I have another 90-day product open if they would like to test it. So I always, try to carry it on longer than those 3 months and ask them, because a lot of times they're going to be up for it. So, but yeah, I keep track of my customers. I really try to build relationships with my customers, because I feel like some of my customers have become some of my best distributors, because they've gotten their hand on the product. They know it, they know what kind of products we have and stuff like that. So yeah, I just have a calendar, and that's how I stay organized with it.
Awesome. I like that. I actually have to get better about that. I'm working on that now, actually.
I'm like not an organized person at all, so I've like had to learn to like make myself be organized with my business, or I would be all over the place.
Yeah, when I first started, I would have like everything super organized. I was like, I'm taking care of all this, and then I don't know if I got distracted, or I guess I just had just more growth, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, and like I just kind of like got sidetracked, but I need to get back to it. So what do you do? Like so let's say you talk to a potential distributor and you put them for the next Friday. Like, what is your follow-up process? Like, do you do every Friday, or?
So, I kind of go about it. So really it just kind of depends on the person. So I have
Right.
follow-up lists, and I feel like if you don't have like a follow-up calendar or follow-up list, definitely get one, because if I didn't have it, I would feel like I didn't have a business, because literally I have to follow up with so many, like I think the average follow-up's like 7 to 21 times. So especially if you're new and you're talking to all these people and you're like, why am I talking to so many people and none of them are signing up? It's because you have to keep following up with them. It's a process. So, if you're watching a bunch of people and they're signing up, all these people, know that it probably wasn't the first time they talked to them that they're signing up. It's definitely a process for sure. But yeah, so whatever I do, I just try to keep it super simple when it comes to following up with them. But I do it depends on the conversation. So if somebody like tells me a certain date, which I always try to get a date from them, what day is going to work for you. If I know they're for sure interested, all right, if you can give me a date, I'm going to put you on my calendar. So I make sure to keep an opening for you that day. But so I like to do Fridays, and then like also the 1st and the 15th, because people get paid a lot on the 1st and the 15th as well. So I do those, and then just kind of depending on our conversation, like if they're like, this month's just not going to work, then I'm going to put them on like that first Friday for the next month. So really it just kind of depends, but I do always just ask for a date, because if you ask, a lot of times they'll give you one too. So that's what I do as far as like the dates and stuff. But as far as like follow-up messages, did you want me to kind of go over that too?
I mean, you can if you want. That's up to you.
I didn't know if you wanted me to give any. I just wrote some down earlier, like some of my main.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, sure.
I'm just like super simple when I follow up with people too. I just think I try to really stress that to my team to make sure like if you're not following up people, like just know that you're going to have to. Just don't get discouraged whenever people aren't signing up the first time. 9 out of 10 times the first time I talk to somebody, they're not signing up as a customer. They're not signing up as a team member. It's really after me reaching back out to them. But I just have like some of my main ones that I used. I didn't know if you guys wanted to like write them down or anything, and I can also send them to you later if you want me to. But I just keep it super simple. Like if they're interested in the business, like I'm just always super excited, because if like you're super excited, they're gonna be like, this girl is so excited about me getting started. Like dang it, like I told her I would sign up today, I better do it. So I'm just like always really excited. So I say something like, here's just an example. I say like, hey Ashley, I'm seriously so excited to get you started today. I've been looking forward to it. Let me know when I can send you the link over and we'll get your kit ordered. I just keep my follow-up super simple. Let's see. Something else I do is whenever I'm talking to a potential customer or a potential distributor, I always find out what makes them interested, especially like for the business. What is their why? So then when I'm following up with them, I can go back and I can like bring up their why And when I'm following up with them, I'm going to bring that up, because their why is going to be what gets them going in this business. It makes them what's interested. And when you bring up their why, it's going to get them in their feelings. That's really what you want to do, make them really think about what makes them interested in the business in the first place. So I always, figure out their why when I'm talking to them, like what would make them interested in the business. So when I follow up, I can bring that up. So, but as far as like the business, I spend a lot of time creating relationships with them as well to really figure out their why. So that's what I try to do when I'm following up best is just, really bring up what made them interested in the first place.
I love those. Now, okay, so one question I had from one of my distributors was, so like as an ambassador, do you get it all the time where people are like, oh, you're an ambassador, you must be able to sign more people, like you must have an advantage, like because you've done this, like you still get no's, you still get people that question it all the time, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think that like when I started, it was probably easier to talk to people because people are going to be able to relate with you more whenever you're making, like, if people hear you make $30,000, they're going to be like, that is not real. But whenever you tell people that you are, you're getting extra money to put in your gas tank every single month with this business, that is way more relatable than, hey, I'm making over 30 grand. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't think it's like, I don't think it helps in that way at all. Like other than the fact that like maybe they're like, okay, she's been in it for a while, but I don't even like to really throw out there like how much I make or anything. I just like to throw out the little things, like it's paying for my groceries. Like that's what I started, and that's what people are gonna be able to relate to the most with you. So yeah, that's what I don't think so.
And that's what I love the most is the fact that you do make that kind of money, but you still post about like the little things like coffee, gas, groceries, like paying that light bill. Like it's those little things that. And I tell my team all the time. I'm like, don't post big things. Like, okay, if you got a new car, you don't have to say thanks. It works for getting my new car. Like, if it didn't, I mean, I don't like talk about the little things. Like, little things are so much more attractive. Yeah, the big bonuses are amazing. Yeah, but it's unbelievable to people. Like, people hear that and they're like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not completely. That's awesome. I love that. Well, does anybody else have any questions? I think that was all I had for you. Does anybody else have anything? You can unmute yourself if you would like to ask. What do you got? Ginger. Holly has a question. What's your question? If nobody asks.
I'm still.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second. Okay.
If she remembers, since she restarted her Instagram, how did she build her Instagram up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Donna.
Okay, so I was wondering, I asked you earlier today about the taxes. I need a little bit of clarification, like about how much do y'all pay in taxes a year?
Honestly, it just depends because like you have so many write-offs in this business. So, and it depends how organized you are with it because I'm not organized. But anyways, there's like so many write-offs. Like a lot of people I feel like have a lot more write-offs than me because they have like kids and like they have like own their house and stuff. So like I don't have any of that, but there's like so many write-offs. It's crazy. Like, I don't know, for example, just like some examples, like your phone bill, like any new electronics you buy, you can use your mileage in your car. Anytime you're going out to eat, you can save those receipts and like say that you were like on a business meeting, office space. There's just like so many write-offs, like it's crazy. But like once you start making enough to where you're really worrying about it, just get with like your tax person. They're gonna be able to help you and give you advice on it. But really it's so different for everybody. Like I don't have like an exact number I can really tell you because it truly is different. But the way I look at it is if you're really having to like really worry about paying in a bunch of taxes, it's because you're making a bunch of money. So right. It's not something you're going to have to like stress about until you're, once you're like really going well, just make sure you're organized with it and really talk to somebody to give you advice on it. I'm probably not the best person for that advice because I'm still learning the whole tax thing.
You're still going. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Did that make sense, Donna?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome.
It was just brought to my attention today, and I've been thinking about it and stuff.
Yeah, and that, I mean, and I tell people that all. Like, it's not anything that is gonna like. I literally my first year, like, I didn't even see. It was not even a big deal. Like, it was nothing. Like,
was me too, my first year. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
right.
And
now they like let you write off some.
Yeah, your write-offs. It's better than any job you're gonna pay taxes into. So, because your write-offs make it so that much better. Like when you file your taxes. What was your question?
How did you grow your Instagram from the ground up?
Your new Instagram.
It was a process. So if you already have an Instagram, do not create a new one. Do not do it. Oh my gosh. But like, thank goodness. Like I feel like a lot of people, like I had the mindset because I was like so determined, and like I didn't, like if I made $29, and I was like, if I could keep doing that, this is so cool. Like I just didn't, know where I could take it in this business. So I wasn't like any huge rush or anything. But yeah, it was a process to build it up. That's for sure. I spent so much time just like following people every single day. Like I don't know. Like I would just follow. Then I would interact with a ton of people. I would start messaging people. Like it really took a long time before people, I think I hit like 2,500 followers before I really started getting really any interaction at all. So I definitely don't, it's good. Like you want to start with the people you know too. So that's another reason I'm like, I don't recommend it. But yeah, it definitely is like spending a lot of time following, interacting. It was a process for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any other questions? Does anybody else have any other questions?
How do you build relationships with people that are not your distributors?
So something that I love that I've been using like a lot lately is like they actually have it on Facebook now too, the Instagram, like the Snapchat stories, but like on Instagram and Facebook. What I do is I will go through those, and like if you're going on this like through their stories, you can like slide up and you can comment on it. So a lot of times what I do is I just like, a lot of times I talk to somebody, I don't even bring up the business. If they've never like talked to me about it, like the first time, sometimes I just like spend time just like sending them a message or giving them compliments. So anyways, it's super easy just to go through like those Instagram stories and comment on like whatever it is, it's like giving them compliments, or, if they're drinking like a coffee, ask what kind it is. If their teeth are super white, ask what toothpaste they use. Literally, like I ask this like weirdest things, but literally just like pretty much getting my name out there. Cause like if you ask them a question, they're gonna be like, who is this person? They're gonna click on your page, they're gonna check it out, they're gonna follow you back hopefully, especially if you compliment them. Like who doesn't love to be complimented, So going through that. So I do a lot of that, but if I see somebody that I know is just would rock this business, I just message them and I say, hey girl, I don't usually do this, but I think you would seriously rock what I do. Like, have you ever considered the business opportunity with It Works before? I just ask, just let them know you think that they would be awesome at it. And I always say like, I don't usually do this. So they don't think I'm all the time, but I'm like, oh, she picked me. Like, that's so cool. So that's something I like to do, but really just like messaging people too about nothing about the business the first time is like how I go about interacting with people and how I get a lot of people to follow me back once I follow them.
Okay.
And on Facebook, something I love is like getting new friends on Facebook that I've been doing a lot is if you're in like any groups, just like start commenting in the groups. Like don't mention the business, don't mention the products or anything, but just like start making comments in the group. Or if you see somebody that commented, like made a comment and you like say you agreed with their opinion on something, message them and just say, hey, I loved your opinion on that. Or just like say something like that. And a lot of times like that's a really good way to like add new people on or get people to add you on Facebook and build relationships on Facebook. That's something I've been really spending a lot of time on as far as the groups on Facebook. Facebook's really been a learning process for me because I started with Instagram and I was so determined for Instagram to work. But once I opened up to Facebook, it's crazy like how much more interaction I started getting. But sorry, I'm just kind of rambling on about nothing.
No, you're fine. Like you're
no, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not huge on Facebook, and I'm still trying to figure out how the algorithms work, how to get new people seeing my posts, and like all kinds of stuff. And I noticed you do a lot of like interactive posts where you'll get a bunch of people commenting. I get sucked in every time, so I see them. So I mean, I use that a lot too because when I heard through the algorithm when the more people that comment on your post, the more your posts are being seen by other people.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do that a lot on Facebook. So
yeah, I believe that's how it works. That's how it works too. That's what I've been doing. And then like I find like you'll see like those ad things on Facebook where they'll be selling like clothes or whatever, a bunch of crazy stuff. And like I go through the comments on there and I'll like check out people because I'm more like kind of careful of who I add on Facebook because Instagram you can just have so many more people. But on Facebook, like I just go through and like if I see somebody I'm like, okay, they would rock this business, I'll go through and like add them. But I'll probably add like 15 new friends a day on Facebook. I'm still learning about Facebook. I need to like really just break down. I just spend so much time on Instagram and it's always worked out really, really well. So
that's how I am too. Yeah, for sure.
So I just started like a couple of weeks ago, and I started adding friends like crazy. But I get a few people that will message me and be like, do I know you? Or, and people are crazy these days, so I completely understand it. But I'm just like, well, you can erase me if you want to. I was just being like, what's y'all do?
Like, just
What, like,
yeah,
what?
do that. I just don't reply. I don't know what to say. This is awkward. Like, no, you don't know me. But
when they would do that to me, when they would say, "Do I know you?" and I'd be like, "No," and I would, when I first started, and this may not be a route to take, I don't know. I would say, "Well, I'm in network marketing, so my job is to add friends daily." Like, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay. Well, what do you do?" And it worked for me. You could try it and see how that works for you. But
I've also, somebody said this, and I do it all the time. I just like to get to know, but I love to get to know new people.
yeah,
Just keep it that simple.
yeah. So, I mean, you can make it sound super friendly and just, I mean, without, and I've always been told, like, I add girls and guys, I mean, because I am a guy, so, I mean, I can add, and yes, I add girls all the time, and they think I'm hitting on them. So, I mean, if you guys don't want to add guys, you don't have to do that. You can just add girls, because, I mean, a lot of people that I've talked to, they only add females. Do you only add girls, Courtney?
I do both.
You do both?
On Instagram, I do a lot more of both. On
Okay.
Facebook, it just kind of depends because usually I have like all those shopping boutiques, so a lot of it's like girls that are, it just happens that way. But
Right.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I do both. So
some are super strict. They're like no guys. So I mean, but if someone messages you that, Donna, I mean, just be friendly, be playful with it, and just like act as if it's not
Right.
for sure.
Yesterday I was like, no, you don't know me and I don't know you, but I mean, you can erase me if you want to. And then today, like, I'm sorry, I'm kind of a bitch. I hate to be like that, but it is what it is. And today this lady asked me about 2 hours ago, she was like, do I know you? I was like, no, I just added you for business purposes. And then I felt really stupid. So
No.
I don't know.
I mean, I would just say I'm in the business of network marketing. I had friends every day, or like she said, I like, meeting new people all the time or something like that. But Yara, did you have a question too?
Yeah, I forgot my initial one, but for anyone that's like just starting out, like what would be your absolute like best helpful like tip out there? Like hands down your top tip.
I think just being really confident in what you're doing, know that you have your hands on something amazing and that people want what we have. And I think your confidence goes a long way. Even if you're not really feeling confident, just try to show as much as possible that you're super confident in what you have, because people are going to want to know what you have when you're so excited and you're so confident about something. So confidence definitely goes a long way for sure.
Awesome.
Sorry. Courtney Lavey, you personally enrolled her, correct?
Right. Yep.
So like I know I went to conference and she kind of talked about it, but like was there like something about her that like did you get a feeling that she was gonna be like an absolute rock star, like go ambassador with you? Like was there like any point in your conversation like that? Like I'm just curious like if there was anything.
No, like not before she signed up, but like once she signed up, I think she signed up like 4 customers within like a couple hours. And I was like, what? And then she was like, it was 3 weeks in and she was going diamonds. And she's like, hey, I'm about to promote to diamonds. And I was like I couldn't even keep up with her because I was like, had no idea what was going on because she was just growing so fast. So no, I had absolutely no idea until like she literally just ran with it, which was so, yeah, it's crazy. It's not normal.
So like, how did you guys get like in communication? Like, was it like she commented on one of your posts and you're like, hey girl, like how did it how did it all start?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny because I guess I followed her like a long time ago and she unfollowed me. And then I guess I followed her again. So I think that's kind of like, I was like, that's meant to be, obviously. But, and then she commented her email on one of my posts because I used to always do like email, like when I started. And she commented on it, left her email, signed up that day. And then like I had no idea that she'd take off. And then also it was just like, boom, it was crazy. But yeah. And then let's see, the first time we met a few months after that. And yeah, so now she's like one of my best friends. It's so crazy, like the people you get to meet in this business. I just love it.
Right. At what point did she come into your business? Like, what rank were you? Yeah.
I think I was going triple. It was like, I think I was either double or triple. Let's see. She joined in April. as well of 2015. Yeah, I think I was going triple, or I think triple. Here,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
incredible because, you know, we do have a lot of new people and they, you know, they feel like they should be going a lot faster. And I always tell them Jocelyn Yates' story, like she didn't go executive until like 9 months into her business. Like just keep going, like fight for your next ambassador diamond. So like it's just cool to see that you're like a double diamond or triple diamond. And that's when she came into your business. Like, so if you would have quit before that, you know, like having a discouraging moment or something, like you wouldn't have found Courtney. And, you know, crazy to see those events.
No, it is crazy. And like something that I think really helped me along the way is like I had no idea, like I was so clueless within this business that I didn't even like I wasn't looking at all these people that were at these other crazy ranks or anything. Like I was just so focused on my own business, and I was so focused on what I could do that day to work my business, and so focused on what was happening on my business. So, you know, just stay focused. And like if there's somebody that you catch yourself comparing yourself to, go unfollow their posts, because you don't, you know, like I think that's something that's really huge. It's so easy to sit here and compare yourself or be like, why is this person enrolling people and I can't get people to do it? You know, really just wake up every single day and think, you know, who can I talk to today? Don't sit and scroll through social media and look at what all these other people are doing. Really just focus on yourself and focus on what you can do on a day-to-day basis. And within that, your business is just going to keep growing. And before you know it, it's just going to be like, whoa, how did I get to this point? Like, it can't fly. So really just, yeah. I think that's something that's huge. And like, I know a lot of my team, like something, you know, Courtney joined and so many people were messaging me on my team and they're like, I've been doing this for a year. Like, how is this happening? Like you know, and like a lot of them had a lot of trouble getting past that, but that's not normal. Like everybody goes at their own rate and their own pace. And I think that's what's so cool about this, because that's going to be your story to tell. And whenever you sit here and you think about that and compare yourself, really, it's just, you know, it's really putting your like mind in a really bad place. Like just focus on what you can do, and things are just going to take off, and it's going to be so cool that that's going to be your story to tell. So yeah, it's so crazy. I can't believe that was the craziest thing ever.
How many, like when you first started, how many times did you post? Because my mom had told me today that it's starting to get ridiculous that she's fixing to start unfollowing me. And if I know if my mom is saying that, like I probably already got so many people that's already unfollowed me.
That's so funny. That's what I have. Ashley Mirth, who's my upline, her mom was like, I'm about to unfollow you. And now her mom's like a presidential diamond. So that'll be next. And your mom, hopefully. You know. So it just really depends, because if I'm super busy talking to a lot of people, I don't sit there and post all day. And really it's changed a lot since I started, because if you guys followed me like a year ago, I'm really sorry, because I posted like hourly. So, I mean, really it's just kind of up to you, but like now I post at least 3 times a day. That's like for sure. But that's also with me like I think there's so much that I'm doing behind posts too. You know, posting is work. Yeah, like posting is good to get those potentials and stuff. But really what you're doing outside of posting is really where you're going to start to see action take place. You know, messaging people, commenting, really making action with people. But posting is important. Absolutely. I think it's so important. There hasn't been a day since I've started this business that I haven't posted. But at least 3 times a day, I'm for sure posting. Max is probably like 6 times. I mean, it's really just different for everybody, because I feel like it's really like if people aren't reaching out to me, I'm reaching out to people, and I'm spending a lot of time on that. But consistency is definitely important. So really just kind of figure out what works best for you, because I'm always trying to figure out. It's confusing too, because with the I can't even say this word, you guys. What's it called? Like
the algorithm.
Yes, I cannot say that damn word. Oh my gosh. But anyways, I don't know how that works, because if you post like too many times, doesn't it knock your own post out or something?
Yeah. So what I read, if you post so many times and so close together on Facebook, even if you're posting inside groups, it's registering you posting. And if you're posting so much, it's going to register you as spam, and it's going to automatically kind of pull your posts away from other people seeing your posts.
Yeah.
So, and when I first started, I was horrible. I mean, I was like black and green. Like I looked like a billboard. Like I looked like, it was ridiculous. And I mean, it's amazing I made it out of that. But, so when I tell people like, Donna, like when I first started, I had people unfollow me all the time. People were like, oh my God, I can't stand your post. My roommates were so negative toward me, but I just had to realize like, they're not writing the check that's going into my bank account. They're not giving me money to put gas in my car. They're not giving me money to pay the rent. Like,
right.
And my mom was so unsupportive for the longest time. And now she's the distributor on my team and she's almost got a full diamond chart. Like, it's just like, you just have to almost put that in the back of your mind and be like, you'll see one day, you'll see one day. Like, you just have to just put it in the back of your mind.
Yes,
And,
let that fuel your fire.
Yeah. And like we talked last night, Donna, like, I mean, you can post multiple times. It's about the content. Like, the content is what's really going to attract or turn people off. And like, if you're posting back to back, like black and green ads, join my team for $99, you're going to get more in followers. But if you're incorporating it into your life, your true friends and people that support you will stick around and they will watch you and they will want to join you one day. So I think it's all about content. I don't think it's about the quantity. I think it's about the quality, for real.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Caitlin, like, my medicine cabinet is mostly of It Works. And like I said, I just started like 2 weeks ago. It's
That's awesome.
ridiculous. But we were talking earlier today about having somebody take a picture of us with all of our It Works products because, you know, and just make it a point that we couldn't take the picture of ourselves because our hands were full. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about like setting up a booth in our town or something like that?
Like doing like a vendor event.
Yeah.
Like an event, like, yeah, absolutely. Those are great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Donna, you'll get with me on that. I'll do that with you.
Okay, well, me and Caitlin was talking about it because you know how they do
For like a
right. You know how they do at Taters every Saturday or every other Saturday. We thought about going up there.
Yeah, just get with me after the Zoom and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I love vendor events. Like, I mean, she's hosted one and I went with her and like, it's just a great way because you see so many faces that you would never see. It's like blitzing without blitzing. Like, it's freaking awesome. Oh, that was one question I had for you, Courtney. Do you blitz? Like, that's like, are you a blitzer?
Okay, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That freaks me out to like actually go out of my way to like here have the Blitz card. But I'm always wearing my It Works clothes like all the time. Always have my It Works bracelet on, my leggings, like everything. Like I'm always just decked out in it. And I get so many people who ask me about it when I'm out and about. So like when I'm shopping, like a lot of people are like, "Oh, are you off today?" Like, nope. Like that's a really good time to bring up the opportunity, or just like when they ask, you know, what works, or something I like to do is if anytime like I'm going out to eat, anything like that, I definitely leave like my Blitz card. But a lot of times I feel like people just like ask me about it first. I do need to get out of my comfort zone and just be like, hey, you know, here. But I'm still working on that, but I'm going to do that, you guys. This is 2017. That's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more of like I get a lot more people asking me about it, like from like what I'm wearing and stuff. Actually, a girl, when I went to go sign up for classes, I was just wearing my It Works bracelet, and she had asked me about my bracelet, and I had her follow me on Instagram and stuff. So it's crazy how many people will just like ask you about the business too. So, yeah. Or something I like to do for any college students, sit by somebody new like all the time and like get to class a few minutes early and start up a conversation and then ask them what they do, because they're going to ask you the same question in return, and that's like the perfect time to bring up the opportunity. So that's actually how I met my roommate last year. We actually sat by each other in class. She asked me what I did, or she was that one who actually asked me first. And I was like, that's like the best idea. Like I'm going to start asking everybody what they do. Then we became roommates, and now she's like one of my best friends. So ask people what they do, because when you ask them that, they're going to return that question. It's a really great way to bring up the business as well.
Yeah, I like that. That's how I did. And when I wear my bracelet all the time, and people are like, what is this? Like, what does it works? And I'm like, and seriously, people will ask you, like, you'd be surprised. And like, I have the decal on the back of my car, and we were leaving the gym one day, and some guy pulled up behind me, and I thought I was in his way. So I moved my car over, and he pulled up next to me so creepily and rolled his window down. I was like, did I make him mad? I'm like, is he like, am I about to get
down the window at first?
Yeah, I was like scared, but I rolled the window down. He's like, oh, he's like, I wanted to ask about he's like, you sell the, what did he say? Yeah. Something about the rafts. He's like, I wanted to ask about the It Works stuff. I'm on a weight loss journey. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, just like, even just that is like indirect blitzing. So like, that's definitely worked for me too. And I love that so much, but I'm not a blitzer. Like I'm terrified. I don't know why.
I think so. A girl I lived with last year, we were like, let's go blitzing. So this is why I'm kind of terrified, and I need to get over it. But we just did it. Like, I think we could have did it a better way. But we went to a grocery store, and the first lady she was like, hey, I just want to tell you about like this opportunity. And she was like, no thanks. And it was like not very friendly about it. Also, we were like, oh, okay, this is like a really bad start to blitzing. But anyway, so after that, I was like kind of freaked out about it. But I really do. Like when you start doing stuff out of your comfort zone, that's when you're going to see growth and you're going to see things happen. So
Right.
yes, that's something.
I just have to realize the worst thing they can say is no and walk away. Like, that's the worst case scenario.
Yes.
And like, once you realize that, I think you can overcome that. I just have to just do it. And like,
And those are the people, if that's your first time seeing them, it's probably going to be your last.
yeah,
So if you're like, no, and they're terrible, well,
bye. I'll never see you again. Well, does anybody else have any questions? So we can wrap this all up. Anybody else?
Hey guys. So, quick question for you, Courtney. I was just wondering, like, if you get in a rut, like, how do you find, like, if you're not, like, signing distributors, if that happens for you? If you're not signing distributors and loyals, like, what do you do to, like, get your mind right again, other than, like, self-motivation, like, development videos?
So sometimes I think like I get so caught up in things that like I forget what I did when I first started this business to really like work. So I always think back. Sometimes I've done this several times. I literally get out a pencil and a piece of paper and I write down the basics of what I did every single day when I started this business to really grow the business. Getting back to the basics is huge. You know, I think it's so easy to get off track, especially if you're working this like through social media. It's so important to make sure you're growing your network every single day. It's so easy just not to do that though. So like there are times where I'll catch myself and I'll be like, what have I been doing like the past 2 weeks? Like, have I even been doing like, you know, like just get off track. So really just getting back to the basics and, you know, really thinking about why you started in the first place and just getting like excited again, you know, figuring out what really is going to fuel your fire to get back on it. I think something that always helps me is just getting on Zooms, you know, getting on YouTube and watching Jade Cooper. Like Jade always just gets me going. Yes, I'm ready to work. So really just making sure to like stay tuned in, you know, getting on the team page and reading stuff. But for me, that's like what personally helps, you know, getting back to the basics and then really just getting my mind around other people. Sometimes I'm just like, I'll just ask someone on my team, I'll just like, hey, we should all jump on a Zoom and just like chat. That gets me pumped up. Just talking to other people who are going through the similar situations, figure out what's working for them right now. You know, what messages are going great for them really gets me excited. So staying tuned in for sure is huge. Getting to events. If there's any local events, absolutely getting to events. Last year, like I started just traveling to all these different events and stuff, which obviously at first I was not able to do that. But if there are any local events that you can do, definitely getting to events because it's crazy where you're, you know, it always just gets your mind in like a good place. So
Yeah.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Well, anybody else have anything to add or anything to ask? Do you have any other questions? Are you good? Will says thank you, Courtney.
You're welcome. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, well, if that's it, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. And yeah, well, thank you so much for doing this, Courtney. You're so welcome.
Thank you guys for having me here. I'll stop the recording and let me just